How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Ricks2Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Hi, all.
Looks like I'm being a little glitchy today, guys. Let me try hardwired plugging this in. I'm sorry, we're going through some really bad storms right now. See if that's the issue. Hold on. Steve, you want to grab some of the comments?
Sure.
Really quick, please.
Let's see who we got. We got Chris here. Hey, Chris. Got Tony back. Hey, Tony.
Oh, my network. I'm sorry, guys.
Prism Print. Man, you got a lot of network problems. Who else here? Hey, Chris Santa. Tim's here. Radu. We don't know where Radu is tonight. Oh, wait.
I'm hardwired plugged in now.
His at thingy doesn't work. Oh, your at thingy looks like it's working fine. You seem to be better. Nope. Well, you're a little choppy.
Yeah, you know, we're getting hit some really bad storms right now, so I don't think it's the Wi-Fi issue. I think it's just my internet. It's a lot of storms right now in the Chicagoland area.
Run a speed test.
So, Steve, before we went live, I said you had a very nice new something in the background. Can you talk about it at all?
This is the Gwick M Core. I have a video coming out soon, probably in the next day or two. It is a 80-watt CO2 laser and 400-watt fiber laser. Nice. And now that I've said that, it's occurred to me that maybe I shouldn't say that. Oh, they've been announcing it all over the place, though. So,
400-watt fiber laser?
Yep.
That is insane.
Now, what's insane is this thing, even when it's currently in Kickstarter for $4,900.
Okay.
When it goes out of Kickstarter, it'll be like $6,900, which is about the price of an X-Tool P3, which is only an 80-watt laser.
Yeah, that's going to be a competition. Definitely.
Yeah, I think things are going to tighten up a lot over the next 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, that's cool. But like we always say, is that competition creates innovation, right? And also drives pricing and everything else along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this thing, as I mentioned last week, this thing can cut 5mm steel.
It's crazy.
And so it's primarily a business machine. It's not like you're not going to put this in your basement. It weighs 300 pounds. But if you have a small business, a side hustle, and people are saying, hey, I like wood products, but I really want something done in metal, like stainless steel.
Right.
You can do it, right? And that's...
How thick did you say again it could cut through?
5mm carbon steel. So almost a 1/4 inch. Okay.
That's what I was about to Google. What is that in inches?
Yeah, it's a 1/4 inches. 5mm. Yeah, a 1/4 inch is 6mm, 6.35. So it's pretty close.
Brad Dewey said, hi, you don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need one to go skydiving twice.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw in the news, but man, I'm not making light of this, but there was a lady who recently passed away because she went bungee jumping.
Yes,
and they threw her off the cliff and they forgot to attach the bungee cord. That is nuts.
Yikes.
And then there were 7 employees who actually ran when they saw that she just fell to her death. well, they can't run, right? They know who they are. They're employed by the company, so they're all being prosecuted for like negligence. But
Yikes.
imagine that being your family member and just watch that person just.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't bungee jump, but one of many reasons I don't bungee jump.
That's crazy. Chris said I'm sorry. For sale, one parachute only used once. Too small.
One small thing.
One small stain. Hilarious. Kevin said, evening everyone, actually home in Chattanooga. Am I saying that right?
Chattanooga.
The
Chattanooga choo-choo.
And sorry guys, I'm being a little glitchy today in the Chicagoland area. We are getting hit with some major storms. So there's nothing I can do about it.
Hot and sunny here today, so
just be happy that I have power.
So far.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people in this area don't have power.
Do you have a generator, backup generator?
No.
See. My power could go out and I wouldn't glitch at all.
Prison Prince said, in Rick's defense, it's raining in Chicago. Yeah, we're getting hit with some brutal storms, and there's hundreds of people right now without power at all in our area.
Hey, you guys got a new library there now, right?
Library? You're talking about Obama's library?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it doesn't look like a library, it looks like something like Elon Musk would buy.
What does a president put in their library? Is it just
I don't know, but it's like
political books, or
if you go to the South Side of Chicago, Obama has like South Side is known for a lot of murals, especially in Pilsen. And I think what they do is if they do these murals, gangs won't tag over them. They'll consider it as respect and they'll leave them alone, right? So if they put these really nice murals on the walls, gangs won't tag on the walls because that's disrespecting your own neighborhood. So when you drive down the South Side, you'll see all these amazing murals of Obama, his family, like all these like really well-known sayings, like in his speeches. So when you saw that he was building this building, I thought it'd be a brick and mortar. I thought, South Side, it's going to be a brown brick building. It looks like something out of like the Jets. It's like too futuristic looking. It's weird shape. Like, how is this your building? Like, what does this say about Chicago? Like, just weird.
Just dare to be different.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like some Art Deco futuristic looking. That's why I said if Elon Musk built it, it makes sense to me because it's definitely futuristic looking. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'll go in there and check it out, see what they have inside. But the building looks very funny.
Modern.
Santa's Living Graven said, I'll drive to Canada and take it off your hands, Steve. You know what? I believe him.
I guess it depends where you're coming from. It's a long drive if you're in the south.
Cheaper than gas than buying it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can take the ferry from Bar Harbor, Maine to the Nova Scotia side, but it only runs half the time. I don't even know if it runs right now. But otherwise, you're on an extra 2 or 3 hour drive to drive around the Bay of Fundy. So, but I'll keep it in mind.
Dave said it's getting dark in South Milwaukee. Good evening, everyone. Hello. All right, you're up, Steve.
So just Alan Jones says GWIC had a decent desktop laser engraver a few years ago, but they stopped developing it. Yeah, I think they do have some consumer products now. They have a UV laser and a fiber laser desktop, but they're making a real push because they make a lot of big industrial lasers, right?
Yeah.
And they're making a push to push some of that down into not the hobby market, but small business market. So it's like you say, there's going to be a clash there at some point because everybody's trying to move into that space now.
Yep. It's
and GWIC's coming from the industry side, and Xtool came from the consumer side, and WeCreate's trying to get in there. Who else? Atom Stack is trying to push up market now. So Who
Chris
knows?
said
It could
Chicago's
get
in
interesting.
the 20th century. It looks like something from like a futuristic movie. Like I don't.
I think it's about time you make your trains more modern. The overhead trains, the L's.
Oh, else what?
It's like this 1930s bucket of bolts driving by when it goes down the tracks.
Yes, blowing sparks all over the place. But see, the thing that's crazy is that like even just our railroad, like for like hauling stuff, it kind of got abandoned. So they're all owned by Canadian Railroad by us now.
Yeah, CN.
Yeah, so everyone hates it only for construction wise, because if you want to go above or below the railroad, they have to hire inspectors to come from Canada, and they're about 2 years out. Versus when it was a United States company, obviously I have employees here, but they literally fly someone from Canada to just do a watch protect, stand there while you're working next to the railroad to make sure that whatever you're doing doesn't fall on the railroad while you're working. So minimum 2 years out.
We're busy here.
Yeah. So it was funny is that I was on these calls for work, and they're like, "Rick, this is ridiculous. How can you say this?" And I said, "Look, Canadian Railroad doesn't care. That's our problem, not theirs. That's not how you do business." Like,
I think they care. They care on the freight side.
No, what I mean is, why would they care that you were waiting 2 years for them to send somebody out because you want to drill under the railroad? They'll get to it and they get to it. It has no importance to them.
Yeah, I think the one of the reasons that I forget which railroad they bought in through the center of the U.S. there. It was so that they could move car parts between Canada, U.S., and Mexico, right?
Yep.
And they own that whole infrastructure now.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the only thing I could say about Canadian Railroad, because the railroads are so like vacant for so many years, they built houses around them. Now the new homeowners are upset because like it's loud, right?
Because they're surprised there's a railroad.
Well, you buy a house, it wasn't used for 15 years, and then all of a sudden, but Canadian Railroad said, reside your house, redo your roof, redo your windows, re-insulate your house, submit the bill, and we'll give you the money back. So what's crazy is that there was these companies, they'd go knock door to door, and we're telling people like, hey, let us do this. And sign the contract. Basically, they'll put a temporary lien on your house so that they won't do all the work, and then you just screw them. And then, they'll bill Canadian Railroad directly, and that's how they're being reimbursed. First, people were thinking it was a scam, but it was a legit thing. And you saw whole neighborhoods just like drastically change because if an entire house, the whole block got all new siding, all new roofs, all new windows. That block looks very nice, right? So
it's called urban renewal.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're doing. So at least I did that. Chris said I heard Canada owns more rails in U.S. than USA companies. I 100% agree.
Probably, yeah.
100% agree. Santa's Living Green said, when you're doing any civil engineering design around a railroad, it doesn't matter how high or low above the ground you are. Your cross line, they say it's saying they own heaven to hell. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it, right? Because, if you dig a hole under a railroad track, they're putting like a 40, 50 ton train, like an engine on top of it, a locomotive, right?
Yeah.
And maybe 4 or 5 of those, depending on if it's long haul or not.
Yeah.
So you really hate one of those to come apart.
Right. No, I get the safety, excuse me, safety portion. I think they should just charge through the nose and say, that's what most people do. You want to expedite this? $100,000. Large corporations will be like, no problem.
Yeah. Well.
But like there's a mom and pop shop that's a Maker's Mark. Check this out, guys. About a block from me, they took an abandoned lot. They built a humongous building. They redid a parking lot, and it's going to be a maker's spot that you can either set up a stand to sell stuff or just kind of like leave stuff, and like I guess someone can somehow they're going to have a way that you have to pay when you leave this little plaza, right? You don't have to have like somebody physically there. And it's like a mix of like taco trucks and makers stuff. So
Got to have the taco trucks.
yeah. It's funny because it's like Mexican
So it's
food,
like
Colombian
a,
food, Argentinian food.
so it's like a swap meet then.
I think it's right downtown, so they're trying to make it like a trendy something. I don't know.
Okay, and
Basically
it's a maker. It's a maker thing. Makers aren't trendy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll see what happens. A lot of those have been popping up around me. A lot of people keep sharing. It's funny because I guess I can have like two type of followers, right? I have the followers who follow me on YouTube or social media, and then you have the people who follow me enough that they find me personally on Facebook, and I become friends with them, right? But then I keep getting shared all these like locations in Illinois that these new makers places, and it's becoming a real big thing.
Yeah.
There's one about 30 minutes north of me. You put all your inventory in there, they scan it, they label it, and you pay when you leave out the door. So
see, this is a function of the economy, right? And I would like to say I'm prophetic about this because I did this video not just, I don't know, before Christmas, I think, around how makers do in recessions.
right.
Right, when inflation is high. Well, they do well because there's people who want stuff and they can't afford to buy new things, right? So they just get makers to make things for them. Like they can't afford to go to a store to buy it. And the makers are generally in the same boat, right? They want to eat too. So they come to some agreement that's usually cheaper than buying something from a commercial, like a big company.
Yeah, so it's cool. We were talking about this maybe right before spring, right? Like spring's coming, makers places, all these discussions are people gearing up to do it, and now like these maker places are becoming huge in my area. That's kind of new, and I think a couple of big places did it. They're successful, so you're seeing more and more of them pop up. Kind of like I said, I think that they're like a bougie flea market, right? If you want to say it, Steve, kind of like you said, like it's because those type of places have existed for a long time. Interior and exterior, flea markets, but they're kind of becoming more of like a bougie,
Bougie. I hate that word. It's like, I mean, the only people who should be saying it are 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Said, I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5. Turns out he only does odd jobs.
Oh.
Too funny.
I actually had a dad joke tonight and I forgot what it was. So I read it as I was passing by this afternoon and I thought, I got to bring that one to the stream. I forgot.
Santa's Lady Green said, Radui, that's odd. Appreciate everyone checking in. Let us know where you're coming from. Appreciate the regulars who are joining us week to week. That's awesome. Phenomenal. If you're new to the live, let us know where you're joining us from. If you have any questions, of course, let us know. This is a live question and answer, so we're going to ask any questions. Otherwise, you just hear from jokes, camaraderie, brotherhood. Welcome.
Yes. Clearly very funny jokes.
Yes. I just sold a job for a case of mangoes.
Mangoes?
Yeah.
I guess you could probably do that in Australia. There's not a lot of mangoes here, but
I love them, man. That's a guilty pleasure of mine.
I just find them way too sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's just like syrup in a shell.
Chris says, my handyman does even numbers more. I'm saying even more. Maybe he should partner up with Radui's handyman, even in odd numbers. Yeah. They'll do it together. It's funny.
I don't do any odd jobs, any jobs, odd or even, really.
Yeah, I got my wife says that she's done lending me out, that my honey-do list is too long to help anyone this year. But
yeah, well, mine is too. I did actually a couple of weeks ago. I did focus for almost 2 weeks on just nothing but these things, and got a lot of them done.
Nice.
But then my wife went on a business trip last week, and I did nothing. So
yeah. To me, spring is like hell month and a half to get my property, and then after that, anyone owns properties know the beginning of the year is like a lot of work, and then after that, it's kind of just like maintaining. But we own a lot of trees and stuff like that, and or if you own I own a fruit orchard and a big garden. Like, it's a lot of work in the beginning of the year. It's overwhelming beginning of the year, but afterwards, it's kind of on cruise control.
Yeah, my summer work or my spring work boils down to dethatching my lawn with the tractor, and then putting the tractor away and bringing out the robot mower and saying, start.
Yeah.
Although I think I have to replot some of the path my lawnmower takes. I think GPS moved or something. Because I have a stone wall in the front, and for 3 years he was cutting there fine, and now this year he runs into the wall constantly, and it's like, what the hell? So I'm gonna have to go replot the path there.
San Jose Engraving said, my dad moved one time and put a to-do list on the fridge. 7 years later, he moved and took it off. I actually got in an argument with my wife. She was saying, Rick, you got all this stuff to do. I said, let me tell you something. I said, I don't have endless supplies of money, and I don't have endless supplies of time. I said, so I joke about the honey-do list, but let's really make one. And she's like, what? Well, let's write everything down. I mean, all the way down to the Taj Mahal. You know what I mean? Like, anything you want done from outside to inside, let's make a list. But let's make a practical list and say, like, okay, you want the deck redone. We have to, because there's a couple boards you replace. You want this done, that done. But really, how much do things cost? And then let's put that in perspective, and let's put in order of budget and time. And there's an eventually list, long list, short list, and let's go from there. I don't think she liked that idea. She just wanted to be able to complain. But I even told my mom, I was like, hey, I told my mom, I was like, that's a good idea. But yeah.
Well, my frustration, and I don't know if other people who are married have this issue with their partners. When we moved here, my wife said, I want the whole house painted. And I painted it all within the first year we were here. And since then, she's been complaining about having to repainting the house. It's like, what the hell? Like, contentment, be happy.
See, my house was built in 1865. So my wife gets upset at me because she'll ask me a small task. And I'll say, it's not that simple. You know what I mean? She's like, why do you have to make everything a bigger project than it is? And I'm like, it's not. Like, like,
it's
you want to move something, change something.
You think it was.
Yeah. You got plaster walls, you got knob and tube electric. Like, okay, then I'm going to knock that wall down, redo electric, redo that plumbing, put that wall back together, and then I'll do what you said. But if I'm open that wall, I'm going to fix what's in that wall first. What?
Yeah, I had to do, as part of this stuff I was doing in the last couple of weeks, I had to do some drywall, fill a few holes, mount a couple new lights in bathrooms. So I put, first layer of plaster down there, and I said, I have to sand that. Oh, no, I don't want you sanding. It's like, you want the thing fixed. Yes.
Right.
I said, that's part of fixing it.
Right.
Okay, fine. So she's standing there ready with the vacuum. Every time, like, little dust comes down, up it goes, right? And she said, there. I said, no, I got 2 more coats to do.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that was, every time it comes to something like that, it's like borderline divorce time.
Yes. So you hear us, and you know it. So Confession Wednesday, how many out there actually have some honey-do lists? And how are you doing on the honey-do list? Are you an overachiever, or are you, ducking down the hallway because there's a few things you've been lacking? Let us know. How long is your honey-do list?
And your spouse will use the ultimate weapon. If you loved me, you would do it.
No, my wife says, when you want to do something for yourself, you'll just do it and you'll figure it out. But when I ask you to do something, it becomes an issue, right? When I made this wall, she was like, I can't believe you did that wall. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I can't do anything for myself. Like, like everything has to be revolved around you guys. But
my wife did that to me once, not that long ago. And I said, well, here's your list and here's my list of things. Right. I said, I can't even do most of the things I need to do for me.
Yeah.
And then she came out to my shop one day and there's just like boxes everywhere right now.
Yeah.
So when I got the Eufy Make E1, and there's lots of people on here who have E1s, it comes in one box. You open the box, well, I guess 2 boxes because there's some ink and stuff too, but you open the box, you put the printer on the counter or on your workspace and you push the power button, right? I have a new UV printer and it came in 15 boxes. 3 of them were wooden crates.
Whoa. Is it like a massive printer or something?
No. It's just it does more than an E1 does.
Did they take lessons from Onefinity on how to package their products?
Well, that's kind of, I think, how a lot of companies are going now.
Yeah.
Right, because I think what they're doing, I think what Onefinity does is they outsource the manufacture of all those individual parts, and those people box them for them. Right, and Onefinity says, here's our graphics, here's everything you need, put it in a box.
Right.
And they just deliver, a truckload of the same parts to Onefinity, and they're already boxed. All they have to do is reship them.
Right. I got you. Stock them on the shelf and get it ready.
Yeah.
Roy says same type of store makers called the Painted went under a couple months ago. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So people are attempting this, whether it be successful or not. It's definitely be something.
There is a whole fairly large layer of people who don't even know what a maker is, right?
Yeah.
They go to Walmart, and makers to them are whoever's on the other end of a container when it arrives at the store.
So I have to ask too, and there's a decent amount of people on the live. Has anyone used these services? Do you actually have a storefront there? Are you physically there? Because I know the advantage of these locations is kind of like we say with Etsy, right? Like Etsy's a silent partner. The reason you do an Etsy is because they're driving your traffic, right? You're a nobody knows who you are, but they're getting 1,000 people at your front door. So yes, you're splitting the profits with them, but they're bringing you customers you've never had to begin with. Most people starting at Etsy, what they're then trying to do is take that customer they got off Etsy and flip them to a customer based off their website, right? And consider Etsy as kind of like an ad campaign, right? And to grow their following, grow their mailing list. So I could kind of see the same thing with the Maker's Place, that again, you're just selling in your basement like me, trying to make and my reach is Facebook Marketplace, posting on Facebook. And that's been my success. But maybe if I wanted to reach farther than that, the Maker's Place would be a spot, So I'm curious, has anyone else tried it, whether it be good or bad? What is your opinion on it?
Yeah, there's maker spaces everywhere, right? And a lot of them are just like a club, right? You sign up, you pay some kind of an annual membership, and you have access to a bunch of tools. I think it's a great idea, right? And anybody who is ready to buy a $6,000 laser, if they know a makerspace has one and they can use it for $100 a year, why wouldn't you, right? Because you're not even maintaining it, right? The makerspace is maintaining it. So it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've donated stuff to there's a makerspace about an hour from me, and I've donated some stuff to them. Yeah, but they're very specifically it's for kids, right? Like under 16 or under 18. And so trying to get people a little more into the maker mindset, right? So
I was surprised when I saw that at libraries. And again, it
Yeah.
was geared towards kids, but anyone was allowed to use it as long as you had a library card. And it was all X Tool stuff.
Well, yeah, Xtool is really so. Xtool is taking the same path Apple took back in the late 70s, early 80s, right? Where they literally gave school boards just piles of computers, right? Because it's flawless logic, right? Like if
Right.
somebody learns to use an Apple computer, when they graduate and they're out in the real world and they have to buy a computer, they're probably going to buy an Apple.
Yeah.
And Xtool is now doing the same thing. I mean, it's brilliant marketing.
Yeah. Chris said GPS moves a ½ inch a year. It's automatically adjusted. Isn't it automatically adjusted?
1.5 inches. Yeah, that's about how much my mower is hitting the wall. It's about 1.5 inches.
That's crazy. Maybe just need to re-outline your yard.
Well, that's what I have to do. It's just in one spot. So with the motion mapping tool, you can go to some spot on the outline and you can say edit from here.
Oh,
and you can just add a new piece in or take.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know that I can do that. I think I have to redo my entire perimeter. I think I'd lose it.
Now, the one thing I wish it would do. So I now have 2 of these mowers, and I haven't decided if I'm going to keep both of them. But if I did, I would like to be able to say to one, go to zone 1, and the other one go to zone 2,
yes,
without having to remap for each mower.
Yes, that's
but
awesome.
Right now, it looks like I have to remap.
Yeah, see, the one I have now, I can't do that at all, and that's why I was kind of like, ah. But my front yard, it has like several pitched areas, and I don't know about yours. How sensitive yours is to being lifted or feel something?
Oh no, the Luba series, like I have a Luba 2 and now a Luba 3. Those things can climb like an 80% slope, right? Which is like 43 degrees.
It's not climbing, but let's just say like it goes around a tree, and I have a like a root that kind of is above the dirt. When it goes and it feels that.
Oh well, yeah. None of them like to run over things.
Yeah, if it runs over something, it comes like an AI detection and says like, "Are you sure that's okay? What I ran over?" kind of deal. And then once you ignore it a couple times, or what do they call it? Excluded or given an exception, right? It marks it and then won't continue to do that. But but my front yard has a lot of obstacles, I would say, like that. But my backyard is almost completely flat. So like for that mower to cut around my pool, which I was having to do that, so when my kids might walk up, it's always freshly cut. It's ideal. But it's kind of a pain in the butt for my front yard because it's not really flat, which is my yard's problem, not a Lamar more problem. What's that?
What's what?
That's really not your background?
What's that?
That's really not your background? That's a drop screen?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was really your background.
No, and it's kind of pink, so it's driving me crazy.
Well, that's cool. It looks real. I thought that was really your background.
I spent a lot of time making sure me and that thing are the same.
Nice. Okay.
It's part of the illusion.
Nice. Okay.
Although I ran into my projector here with my foot the other day, and I moved something. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. I believe it. Santa's Living Great said Jack in the shop printing a second log cabin on a PLA wood. I just put a short where I finished and put a little acrylic pen. I've seen these 3D printers that are printing concrete and they're printing buildings.
Yeah.
That to me is insane. That's
they have a nozzle that's about 2 inches, right?
Yeah.
And they just kind of lay it down. It looks awesome.
Right. So I think of that with the concrete, and then I think of these like bamboo, even these bamboo lab printers that are printing this wood fiber kind of hybrid look / whatever. That if they had a large scale something like that, like in Canada, and you printed a log cabin that is like that deck boarding.
Yeah, I personally didn't print it, but there's a lot of 3D printer technology here for housing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because everybody, I mean, it's the same in the US, right? Everybody's talking about a housing shortage.
Yes.
And you know, if you can print a house in a day or two,
it's insane.
Why is there a problem, right?
Right. It's insane. Yeah, I mean that so like I'm about to redo my deck. Probably I might just completely rip it out and completely do it. But if I was to use that plastic wood board for board, it's probably like 4 times the cost, right? So,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. So wood versus that, I could probably do 4 boards versus, you know, but at the end of the day, like 7 years from now, I'm not replacing anything, right? So you get what you pay for. But but if you could print a log cabin, that would be insane.
Just print the logs.
Yeah. And what would be cool is if they were like printed in place, so like they're almost like more stormproof because they're stuck together.
The problem is they'd be heavy, right?
Yeah.
And that, you know, that wood fiber PLA is still mostly PLA.
Yeah.
It's mostly plastic. So
it would be funny to see these big giant trees that are holding up structures. Like, what is that tree? Oh, you got to knock it out to place. That's just to hold that beam while it's being printed. You know, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm at a point now where I think I need another 3D printer or 2. Okay. My printers are just always running, and then you get some job that takes 7 hours, and I need more machines. So I think Snapmaker is going to send me a U1. They sent me. I was a little snippy with them this week. They send me this marketing campaign to say, hey, post this on your YouTube page, all these sales. And I responded and said, don't you think you should send me a printer before I recommend it?
Yeah.
Oh. So it was a very short conversation. It was like, just tell us where to send it. It's like, okay. And I do have another one. It's probably August before I get it. It's got 4 separate print heads in it. Like 4, not 4 sitting in the back like a U1 has. It's got 4 print heads that can print at the same time.
Nice. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things a little different.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of flack. People saying, like, for instance, they knew that I've been sick this last week, but my daughter's graduation party is next weekend. So I've been attempting, as I'm feeling for my inhaler, to show you, to do as much as I can. But if this cough starts and I don't use the steroid inhaler, man, I'm probably throwing up. I can't make it stop. Yeah. And people are like, dude, you need to like not work so much. You know, and I mentioned on 2 lives ago, somebody asked me what do I do for fun? Because it seems like all I do is work. You know, like I work, come home, work, do work. And it's like, okay, I do things for fun sometimes. So I'm going to start showing those. Work hard, play hard. And I'm going to start showing us some things that I do for fun, since people don't think I actually have fun. I do have some fun.
We don't think you use your CNC either. So
yeah, just... There's certain things that I do more different times of the year because they're profitable to me. And it's just something that I sell yeah. But right now, a big portion of my income is outdoors, and I got to get that kicked off. And then that kind of cruise controls. But the good thing is, like, my garden, my farm stand, as all that, I have a huge farm stand in front of my property. Guess what's along the side of my farm stand? All my woodworking stuff, right? So once all that is going, that's constantly people stopping at my house, constantly people looking at things in the front, and that birdhouse, that planter, you know, whatever I'm making in the shop, that is right next to all that, you know, and that's driving a lot of traffic too. So some people may not drive all the way out to my house for a $10, $20 something, but it's an easy impulse buy when they're there buying a veggie box and like, oh, what's that? So it works out for me.
So that's how you're selling the fence picket birdhouses that you built.
No.
You built 1,000 of them.
They hardly sell, but everything else I just mentioned the birdhouse. But yeah, if Roger was on the live, he'd make funny with the birdhouse. Roger said he did really good at the birdhouses. I don't know. Jack in the shop, how is wood PLA working for you? I see a lot of people having trouble with it. I bought it. I bought like 2 or 3 different colors, but my bamboo printer is down, and I just haven't had a chance to. They actually emailed me and asked me how things are going right before I went on vacation, and that's when it broke. And today I was actually trying to find that email so I can reply directly to that person. So I don't end up in a general inquiry. I'm having an issue with my printer, but I do want to try it. And what I wanted to try that print is, I wanted to, and it's funny now that she's using the CNC to make these crosses. But if you've seen some of her work, and I'm saying seen because I don't want to give away her work. If you're a normal watcher, you know what I'm talking about, Skylar. I wanted to make some of those crosses with the 3D printer and see how does it really look compared to wood.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried it in the past. It looks just like plastic to me. I don't know. It's kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, it's fun. I wanted to try it and see what they thought, but yeah.
Yeah. Now bamboo has like 3 different kinds of wood filament.
I have all
real wood in it, right? It's like
right.
Wood dust.
I bought all of them, but then the printer went down, so I was like, Yeah, and I also have a local filament company the film is so cheap, it's insane. So I'm hoping, and he reached out to me, so how things going. I'm hoping it works phenomenal, because if it does, the guy's 15 minutes from my house. Yeah. And the way that I think that he's making the film so cheap is I went in his basement, and he has a home-based business.
Yeah.
Talk about print farm. This dude, like, he's probably got a $500,000 business in his house you'd never know, right? And he's big into sports stuff, and he's making like, whoa, the stuff that he's making. And just rows and rows and rows of printers in his basement. And it was kind of funny because at first he brought me in his basement, and I saw a look on his face like, and maybe it could be a twofold. One, he's showing me his products, right? So out of the same printer, I could try to steal some of his ideas. And 2, let's just be real. If you're really using your shop like you're supposed to, it's not like show quality, invite a customer in most cases, right? You do a little cleaning up if you have somebody coming over, so to speak. Well, I came in mid-production, let's just say, and I started laughing, and he kind of looked at me like, oh, it was kind of a little, scattered. And I said, I love that your basement looks like mine. I said, every time I bring anyone to the basement, my wife's like, why would you bring them down there? Like, they can tell I've been working, it's not a studio, but man, this guy. So what I think he's doing is he's selling his filament, probably barely any profit, but because he's printing so much and he's purchasing so much, he's probably getting that filament for like nothing.
And that's making it like, is it recycled filament or is it?
No. He designed his own type of filament, like to certain specifications around Bamboo Labs printers, because that's all he uses. And he's obviously very successful, because I'm telling you, this dude had like, whoa, And when I went in his garage, he's a gearhead too. I went in his garage. It was like badass lifted truck, badass dirt bike, badass snowmobile, badass 4-wheeler. Like, he had the toys to prove that was making money too. You know what I mean? Like, he may be getting dirty in the basement, but he's got some toys.
Did he have like a meth lab next door? Or?
Nah. He seemed like a really stand-up guy. I guess he was at one point in time a professional dirt bike racer. So that's how he knows a lot of the that type of niche stuff that he's built printing for. But pretty cool. Santa's there and said overachiever. Shocking, right? Okay, Chris said, I tell my wife she does not need to remind me every 6 months it's on the list. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, people.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Sandals Living Grimm said, use a 0.6 nozzle to do a test because your standard settings for PLA has to be tweaked. Mine was stringy. Other than that, so good so far. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to make sure that it's dry filament too.
Yeah.
Certainly stringing would be an indication of it being a little bit less than dry.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that I knew Bamboo Lab, and I kept saying like, oh, I wish you could do it. I wish that you buy this big giant external housing for all these filaments, and I wish that while you're printing, it could still somewhat heat up. Because if you're drying your filament, as soon as you want to use that AMS, it turned off the drying filaments, right?
Well, on the H2D, that's the case. On the
right, no, they did an update, and it doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
you can still have it heating, but I noticed that the print quality changed, and I was like, I almost liked it better when it didn't, because to me, is the filament too warm right out the gate, and then it's kind of like affecting the print head? I don't know.
No, it shouldn't matter.
I kind of, I was like, so.
No, I haven't seen any difference.
Yeah, I was doing some
I actually put a roll of my of string from my string trimmer in my AMS to dry it out. It was just
hilarious.
Like I needed some, so I went to the local hardware store, which isn't my favorite one, but and bought some. And with the previous roll of string, I did I have a really deep ditch with 6 foot tall weeds in front of my yard in the ditch, and if I don't keep it cut, it's just brutal. So I did the whole entire thing the first time with the previous string, and then I needed some new stuff, and I used in about 5 feet. I used a whole spool of it on the string trimmer, and I thought, well, what the hell could be bad? So I thought, well, it must be damp filament. So I threw it in the AMS for a few hours, and it does seem to work better now.
So I heard the opposite. I heard a lot of people they throw their string for their weed whacker actually in a bucket of water.
Yeah, I think it'll get brittle if you do that.
Yeah, I've never done that, but I do like that sun. I have the Sunlu, and you can use it as an EMS, but I purely use it as a dryer. $100. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
4 rolls, $100. It has 2 modes. One where you could just set it at something, and then the other modes you can set it as storage. So there's 4 rolls that are the common ones I use. And say, hey, I don't want it below this, and it only turns on if it goes below that. It just turned on a few seconds when we're on, back off. But yeah, that's some new filament dryers. And if you don't have an AMS, you could use it as that. And you can't buy an EMS for $400, So yeah. Chris and my grandkid saw the Oshi and put a request in. Oshi? OCCIE. OC? Not sure what that is. Must be a new kid thing.
I don't know. Chris, what's an OC?
Yeah. Some kind of new toy. Here, Jack said, number 1, Etsy drives traffic and handles taxes remaining each state. Agreed.
Yeah, it's they still charge 30% though, 30 to 40. So
yeah,
it seems a little high for all of that.
Jack Shot said, bigger bed was one of the main factor for me.
Okay.
Longer parts I can get up to 30 millimeters diagonally. Yeah. And Sanders Living Grave said, I want to make a purchase one way or another next month. Man, this guy is talk about holy shop upgrades. He is. Remember that NBA Jam? You're on fire. Sales engraving is on fire.
What I take from this statement is he doesn't know what he wants to buy. He just wants to buy something.
He's got money in his pocket to burn. He's doing good. So what
He's embezzling little kids on his deliveries.
Yeah, just put your money, make money, flip your profits back into it. If that's a great thing, that if you have an actual source of income and you can have your side hustle and not touch it and just put it right back in and be able to keep buying bigger, better tools, bigger, better things, eventually then you can start pulling from it to pay bills. If you have the ability to do that, that's definitely nice.
Yeah, that's how I built my shop. I was still working when I built most of my shop up.
Travis said, Rick, there are 3 maker spaces in the Chicago area. I visited 2 of them. They're both underwhelming, and my shop is better equipped.
Well,
the thing is, to me, is like a lot of these like mom and pop gyms, I think, start off that way. The equipment's kind of crappy, but if they become successful, you start seeing them with nicer equipment. So that may be the case too with these makers. They don't have the best of everything. Like they probably don't have a saw stop, right? Because one saw is going to be $35,000. You're going to see a DeWalt table.
Yeah.
Well,
like most of their equipment would be somebody donated it, right?
Yeah.
To start with. So, yeah, I get it. But maker spaces aren't for people who already have a shop, honestly. They're for people who don't, right? Like they don't have any tools.
Right. I guess it's one of those statements where something's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's a place to start.
But I did talk to a couple of people who have maker spaces, one in Minnesota and one in Wisconsin. And they had some pretty rocking equipment in their maker spaces, but they were pretty big. Like they'd been around for 10, 12 years. So, it takes time, right?
Chris said, are we both using fake screens? No, I don't have a fancy dancy projector like Steve. This is real.
I don't know.
It's real. It's real. You can say that if you want, but it's real. Although I definitely thought that Steve's was real. I didn't realize.
I could have turned the laser on in my shop, and I could have controlled it from here, so it made it look real.
I definitely thought that was real, Steve. I didn't think that was not a fake.
So the magic of a good background screen like this is getting the lighting right. It's all about lighting, right? You can make anything look real if the lighting's proper.
Nice. Chris said, when 3D printing a house, does it pace each time it reaches a plumbing electrical? Oh, does it pause?
No. What they do is they run the walls are hollow, so they run a bead of 3D printed concrete on both sides, and there's about an 8-inch air gap in between, and then they run all the plumbing and stuff after, and then when it's all finished, they fill it with foam insulation, spray in foam.
It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know that it will replace homes, but I definitely think that you'll start seeing them more and more.
Well, I think that the thing is, it's a fraction of the cost of a regular house, right? So a lot of it is just changing the mindset, right? Because
but it's going to
everybody thinks, I got to have a house made of 2x6s and
right
and whatnot. So it's taking people from that to, hey, you mean I can have a perfectly circular room if I want, right? Which you could with a 3D printed house, right? So I mean, it's going to take a while, but I think ultimately the cost is what will drive things down. Because once they get to mass production of 3D printed houses, I think they'll be a lot cheaper than current houses.
Yeah, 100%. Travis said, I live right by the painted tree that closed. They had lots of 3D printers and articulated dragons that the kids wanted.
Yeah, see, any of these places might have got clobbered by some of the tariffs, right? Because if they're buying stuff from China, they were getting hammered.
Yeah. Jack in the Shop said, I got an X1C and the U1 going right now. Thought about cranking up the older 3D printers. Get it, man.
Yeah, old Ender 3.
Yeah.
It's interesting that an Ender 3 is considered an old Creality printer now. Creality has this new index type system coming too. For it's very similar to the H2C, but it has almost no purge. So it's kind of interesting.
TTC 1940 said, Rick, any thoughts about getting together in the Chicagoland area? Yes. I apologize when people were reaching out and they said, hey, let's do this. Let's make let's do a Shop Talk Live gathering. There's a decent amount of us in the Chicagoland area. And also was requested that I reach out to Roger and have Roger part of that. Roger, if you're unaware, owns a nursery farm. So the beginning of the year is really busy for him because he's selling to people who are planting. And I own a fruit farm and veggies. So beginning is really busy for me for that. So just I'd say next month and starting would be better because crops are already growing by then. Right now we're in the infant stages of getting everything ready. So we are just running 7 days a week, 12-hour days. Yeah, so next month, if that's something you guys are really interested in, I think there's a decent handful of us. And some of us even have Harleys. That'd be even cool too. We can maybe do a ride and meet somewhere. That'd be cool because I know Roger is living on that trike now as much as he can. Yeah, so let's do something for sure. But just being transparent right now, our schedule's pretty busy. So I wasn't being disrespectful on anyone's time or request to get together. It would be great to start meeting, put a face to a name to a face, and start meeting some of our community would be great. Another thing would be cool is that Roger does a lot of events that are kind of give back community events. And if there are a decent amount of makers within the Chicagoland area, and those events come up for orphanages and things like that he does, that'd be cool if we collectively as a group, since we're local, that we could do some things. I'd love to do something like that. That'd be phenomenal as well. Want to take this, Steve?
Santa says, does anyone remember the monolithic dome houses, Xanadu homes? They were made from polyurethane foam. I mean, I vaguely remember them. I think there's probably still some around.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing one as a kid. They were like a golf ball shape, right? And had like yeah.
Well, those are the geodetic domes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen one as a kid. I don't know if it's still there, but as I was growing up, it was there. I don't know if it's still there.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, those things tend to be like spherical, right? They don't. I mean, you have lots of headroom, but you don't have any more floor space than you would have headroom. So
yeah,
it's it's kind of an odd thing. But I don't think they had the full dome, right? I think these ones had like regular walls, and then they had the dome on top of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go look for them.
Steve's on the Google search now, see if you can find it. But I'm pretty sure there was one in Glendale Heights, Illinois. As a kid, I remember seeing them. But other than that, I think I've only seen one, and maybe one in Wisconsin near the highway. Two in my entire life. But yeah. So it looks like we're caught up here in the comments. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Definitely appreciate people adding. If they use these makers places, and if these seller markets as well, it's becoming something more and more that in different areas. So again, if that's something you've done, please feel free to share your input on that. So Steve, when the video drop on that laser behind you? Or has it already? Have you dropped the video already on that laser behind you?
Yeah, I made it a little less pink. It's the stream software seems to be a little more sensitive of color. Red, who says, "What is a fox's favorite programming language?" Fortran. Oh boy, you have to be old to understand that one.
Oh, here he goes.
Yeah, I did look at this. Is probably the one I'm looking at. They look like either. Well, it's like Flintstone's house, right? Like they kind of look like that.
You want to share your screen? I don't see it.
Let me see if I can separate this picture from it. See if I can zoom in on it. I can set it as wallpaper. I can just put it back here. Maybe.
Fancy.
I have to find my screen.
He's getting it going.
No.
He said reference for the silver fox.
Yep. Yeah, here, let me just share this one. They make it so hard to share the screen. Wonder if I can zoom in on this.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a Flintstone house to me.
Let me see if I can zoom in. No.
The one I was saying that I saw,
I can zoom in from here.
It was purely just like kind of a dome that was like the shape of a golf ball.
There we go.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Go away. Ugh. Now we got the menu stuck there. Yeah, so they're kind of Flintstone-y, right? Or Jetsons kind of.
Yeah, that's funny. That definitely looks like a scene from the Flintstone movie that came out.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look that nice. Like things for. I mean, it's my my Spectrum presence on the autism spectrum, but things have to be smooth.
Yeah, Chris said Flintstones, nah, more Hobbit. I can see that.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's what those are. They're not.
Here's another one for you, Steve.
They're not that great. Chris says Fortran would be close, if not the oldest programming language, still in common use. Yeah, I don't know how common it is anymore, but it's still in use. I started one of my first jobs. I was building pipe hangers for nuclear reactors in something I wrote in Fortran. Jim says, Steve, can you do variable text using Lightburn on a Eufy printer? I don't know. I mean, I assume you can. It's just if the variable text is a standard system font of some sort, you should be able to capture it and run it over on the Eufy side.
Steve, speaking of Lightburn, did you recently get a email from Lightburn asking you just a slew of questions? A survey?
Asking me what?
Questions.
What question?
All kinds of questions. It was like a 15-minute thing.
No.
Yeah, they sent like a 15-minute thing saying, hey, would you mind answering these questions, blah, 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 blah. So I know you did some beta testing with them early on at one point in time. So questions seem very driven focused. So I was wondering if they're trying to get some feedback to make some directional changes.
Could be. I mean, I've said they probably didn't ask me because I did actually have a conversation with their marketing guy who used to be at Algo Laser, but now he's at Lightburn. And I said some things that weren't probably too popular inside Lightburn.
Yeah.
But
it was a lot of questions and it was valid questions. But
yeah, I mean, I think they got to be worried, right?
Yeah, they seem very driven. Like they're hunting for certain answers. So I think you may see a pivot or some type of changes. And
yeah, they have really no choice.
yeah. Santa's living great and say 1980 concepts of future homes, right? When we were kids, what do they say? Oh, you'll be able to see each other on your phones. We're doing that now, right? We'll have
although they didn't have the concept of mobile phones, they had the concept of a phone on your kitchen counter with a screen on it, right?
We're doing that with Alexas now, right?
Yeah.
And as I made 8,000 people's phone, Alexa's just go doo-doo-doo, as I said that with her watching us. But we don't have the flying cars yet, and as far as I'm aware, we don't do teleport yet. But that was also something that, as a kid, they always showed in futuristic movies.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Although Elon says that they're going to announce a flying car soon.
Yeah, I think so. Everyone's going crazy at Elon Musk. I mean, even to point to my retirement fund, said, if SpaceX going public, do I want to take some of my retirement fund and put through Elon Musk? And I said, you know what? Anything, and we don't go political, anything to do with Elon Musk or Trump, I'm staying away.
Yeah.
Because
so
it always seems like they're pumping dumps.
I did, now that Elon is a trillionaire, which is mind-boggling in itself, I heard an interesting statistic. The average American is about as far away from Bezos financially as Bezos is from Elon now.
I'm trying to remember.
Bezos is a middle-class billionaire now.
I'm trying to remember his name. He's a billionaire. They said that Elon Musk made as much money this month as he made his entire life.
Oh, probably Buffett.
Whoa, it's insane. So I don't think there should be some type of socialism. That like everyone should have the same type of thing. I think that if you're able to achieve a certain level of success for your own hard work, that's great for you. I'm not jealous or envy of anyone's success, right? But the point is that when there's such an extreme, that like where someone can make $16 trillion, and they said Elon Musk pays taxes of someone who makes 162,000. It's like, that's just not right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not anyone who's able to succeed. It's off their own sweat of their own brow. Even if it's not them investing or inventing something, they had the ingenuity to hire someone smarter than them to be able to achieve what they wanted them to achieve. Great. But all I'm saying is pay your fair share in taxes. All these economic loopholes when, mom and pops like us, if you use PayPal and if you use any type of thing like that, you're getting 1099 now because you made over 10 grand. But this guy who made $16 trillion is paying the same as you. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, that's just, I don't get it. When you're digging into PayPal and you're digging into, these cash apps to hit the little guy in who's trying to make a couple extra bucks, you're looking to me at the wrong checkbook.
Yeah. It'll be the guy who makes 50,000 a year who gets audited.
Right. Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Chris said, Jim, I would be up to using Liper, then export SVG to import to Eufy.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly do that. That's what I thought Jim was talking about, actually. But
Chris said, most regular Lightburn forms users got the survey request. Okay, there you
go. See, I don't go to a Lightburn form. I haven't even upgraded Lightburn to I think I'm at version 2.
I still haven't done the latest that just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, my license, I'd have to pay them an annual renewal. Yeah. I haven't bothered because I've only got I've got one laser right now that runs on Lightburn.
Yeah.
And it runs fine with the version I have. So
the one thing that I can say is about Lightburn, what I do like is that they don't discontinue use if you don't continue a license. They say like,
yeah. I mean,
that I like.
yeah,
There's so many softwares out there that it becomes no longer supported, and all of a sudden you can't have it in your computer, right? End of life software. I like it that they don't handcuff you to a subscription.
Yeah, I mean, the plan, what you're paying for with an annual renewal is updates, right?
Yep.
And I like that.
Yeah.
But
I think it also keeps the cost down, right? Because their own, it's not a lifetime updates, so there's going to have residual income coming in that's going to allow them to have software developers, right?
Yeah.
By that continued license. Razor Ray said, back to the honeydew list. Here you go. Why does it seem that what you do is never important as what you don't do? Exactly. That would make a good sign.
That is a very interesting.
That would make a good sign. No, I know. Yes, you sometimes I always say, every argument's not worth having, and every argument's not worth winning. Just sometimes, just let it go.
Yeah, before you argue either side of this point, you have to decide if this is a hill you want to die on.
Yeah. Some arguments aren't worth having.
Or maybe it's just time to go for a walk.
Exactly. Alex said, have either of you used One Laser XRF or Xtool P3? I'm looking for my first CO2, and I mostly work on 3mm and 1/8. I have not, but I've been talking with One Laser. Come on, buddy, you guys got to send that laser already. But Steve does have Xtool.
No, so I haven't used the one laser. Again, I've said some questionable things about it, so maybe they don't want to send me one. But if you're cutting 3mm and 1/8 inch plastic or wood, you probably don't need a P3. You can do that with a P2, P2S. Save yourself a couple of $1,000.
So between the P2 and the P3, is there also a workspace difference? Size?
Yeah, workspace is a bit bigger on a P3.
Right. So maybe that's why he's going to P3.
Yeah, I mean, the software is exactly the same. Now, I'm kind of biased on the Xtool side because I just like their software now. It's so much easier to use than anything else.
Yeah, so I was in pretty good talks with One Laser, one-on-one, some of their higher level ups, and talking on the phone a couple times, and I thought we were going to have a deal coming through, and then kind of fell short. But that happens sometimes with these manufacturers. It's like gung ho. We need to talk to you. The email exchange after email exchange, phone call. They ghost you, and then all of a sudden something shows up at your door, and they're like, "We need this done in a week."
Yeah, it's happened a lot this year.
Right.
It's when they say we're going to ship you one in February and it doesn't arrive until June.
Right.
And then they say, okay, according to the terms of your contract, it says you'll have a review done in a week. It's like, well, you were 4 months late, and now you want me to be here.
Right.
Now you want me to do it in a week.
So
sorry, I have a schedule, and you're not slotted into it anymore. You fell out when you were late.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So One Laser, if you're listening, I'm still ready to hit the ground running. We'll see. I was very excited. Well, what I really liked that tumbler laser. And I was surprised. It's a vertical tumble laser. I thought it was cool and unique. They asked me to look at their. To be honest, I chose a lot cheaper of a laser that I was asking for that they were recommending that I start with. And I know a lot of times these laser manufacturers, they kind of get you with a more entry level laser, and then the reviews go well, things go well, then they continue on to higher, bigger, better. So I was even more.
But a tumbler laser seems awfully specific.
Yes. So the reason I was awfully specific is because what is the number one thing that we said that people say that they buy that they don't use? What was the answer?
No, it's always tumblers. They got a cupboard full of them.
Yeah, but what was the accessory that they purchased for the laser that they never use?
Rotaries for sure. Yeah.
The number one answer was rotary tools. So what I said to him is that we say that like having one's like having none, right? And that as you start having lasers, start having specified laser for a specific task, right? So you start, and I could see that. Would that be my first laser ever purchased? Absolutely not, because that is a tumbler laser, right? But if you become someone who's like a laser chick who does a ton of those, and rather than creating jigs and modifying the CO2 laser or modifying the laser, to fit a rotary boss and do all these kind of things, like that's out of the box, hit the ground running. They figure it all out for you, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, like not only is it a very specific purpose laser, look what's happening in the industry now, right? This laser back here, right? Got CO2 and fiber. You've got fiber lasers with diode lasers. You got UV lasers and fiber lasers. The combination lasers are taking over, right?
Yeah, but a lot of times, though, and it could be wrong, and it could be coming to the point that's not truth. But a lot of times, anytime you have a multi-anything, it's not the best of either.
Well, I know we say that, but the reality is, I think they've done a lot of work on that kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. That could be changing. That could become the new standard.
I think it's going to be. Right? I was almost going to do a video on this, actually, the kind of trend that's happening there. I mean, it's going to hit business first, right? Because they have cost controls and they don't want to buy two $5,000 lasers. They want to buy one $6,000 laser that does both of those jobs.
Right.
Even if it's not exactly as good at both of those jobs. If it can do both of them, they're happy. Because they have real estate, like floor space issues, yes. They have price issues. And I think that's kind of driving the consumer market now.
Yeah.
Or is about to, I'd say.
I think that as long as there's value and the cost savings doesn't have a drastic impact on the quality.
Yeah, but this is happening everywhere, right? Look at Bamboo with their 3D printer laser cutter.
To me, the whole the laser 3D printer didn't make sense.
It doesn't, but people are buying them. It doesn't to us, right?
Yeah. To me, like a CO2 diode laser, a IR laser diode laser, a CO2 fiber laser, I get it because it's like a laser with another laser, right? You're already using that as a laser, but a 3D printer as a laser, that doesn't make any sense. I kind of get the whole CNC laser, and that's just somebody who wants a huge workspace laser. But to me, a laser makes a lot less money than a CNC. So if you're using your CNC as a laser, to me, you're losing money. But I get why you want
the one place where putting a laser on a CNC drivetrain is useful is if you want to engrave something huge.
Right.
You're not going to generally find a 48 by 48
it ain't happening.
Laser, right? I mean, you can buy but the problem is, again, it becomes purpose specific, right? If you buy a laser that big.
Right.
I mean, you get the big Acmer, 4x8 thing, it's only good for someone like Clack to put a pillow in and have a nap, right? Like, what do you do with it after?
You said it once. Steve?
So I do think that there's convergence coming.
Did you hear what I said?
The costs are going crazy, right?
I said you said it once.
Oh, I know.
Those who know what I meant by that, please put LOL in the comments below.
I was going to say it 3 times very quickly, but
I don't have my inhaler. Don't start laughing. Steve, you got
Travis says MCore review ETA. I don't know. They're looking at it now, so I gave them the courtesy of having a look at it. Their Facebook group is definitely desperate for more reviews. My review is very different than yours.
What's a McCore?
M core is that laser back there.
Oh,
Although McCore makes it sound a little like what, Irish, Scottish, Scottish, I guess.
it's green.
Oh no, MC is Irish. MAC is
Elon could drop 1 million and think it's not worth bending over to pick it up. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just it's insane. Like this, it's
yeah. I read another statistic before he became a trillionaire, when he was a mere multi-billionaire. They said he was making like $16,000 a second, which, you know, there's a lot of people who won't make that in a year.
yes.
And it's fine, right? Like, the guy works hard. He does a lot of things. But if you notice, like when he first started Tesla, right, it was all about, oh, let's get off of gas. Let's do something good for humanity. And now it's like, yeah, let's just make me money. I think it just eventually corrupts you. And
Although I think he's going to have to buy out like a 300 house subdivision and pay them out to leave in Texas.
well, SpaceX just announced that they're buying Cursor, which is a competitor to Anthropic and OpenAI.
Yeah, so
I don't know what he's going to do. It seems a bit scattered, right? Like, he's got Bitcoin. He's got $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in there. He's got now AI. He's got, oh yeah, and we go to space, right?
Mm-hmm. I think he's thinking futuristic type things. So to me, as scattered as they are, I think they're in the same direction, right?
Sort of. They're all kind of futuristic technologies, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But this lately, what they're saying is all these spaceships that they're launching, I don't know how he got zoned to build that, because he's not too far from residential property. Yeah, exactly. So these people are saying that they have 3 and 4 inch cracks across their entire foundation, like doors that won't even close because it's rattling their entire house. So they're suing the crap out of him. Like, so I think what's going to happen is he's basically going to have to buy out like 2 subdivisions that he's surrounded by, because that can't be residential. They're just going to have to clear it out.
He'll just save some money for a day or so and just buy up a neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do. I mean, that would be the right thing to do, right? If I had a 4 inch crack across my foundation on every side of my walls because you launched rockets, come on, man. You know?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'd love to have those type of money problems. Maybe I wouldn't.
Yeah,
it'd be nice for a day.
All I can say is you live in a very strange country.
I know. It's a strange country that you can have a Vietnam veteran who's still alive, who can't get benefits support for medical conditions. Someone from Desert Storm, Iraq, who's begging for money on a court, holding a sign because they're just dealing with internal issues. And there's not support for our troops. We're in endless wars for 26 years. And then you have guys like that who pay $60,000 a year in taxes. And again, like I said, I'm not ever jealous or envious of anyone's success. I'm not pushing socialism, but I'm just saying everyone should pay their fair taxes. You know, and man, just these nowadays, like what we're doing is so influential. It's funny that I'm saying that, because you ask these kids now, what do they want to do when you graduate college? What do you want to do when you get out of school? I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an influencer. The fact that a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, a high school kid, like, that's what they want to do is insane.
Yeah, wait till they find out what it pays. The average YouTuber, right?
You're gonna be living in your mom's basement for a long time, buddy. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, forever.
But yeah, it's just crazy. Like I said, I found out one of my little cousins. I have a double cousin, so before you think it's an inbred thing, my mom and her younger sister married brothers. So when my mom would go out, my grandmother said, "You got to bring your sister with you." So when she started dating my father, she ended up meeting my mom's younger sister met my father's younger brother, so they married. So I have cousins who are my double cousins, right? Because our mothers are sisters and our fathers are brothers. So we look like, I mean, that's the closest relative I have, right? We're double cousins. We look like brothers and sisters. So his daughter is going through the apprenticeship program for IBW, and she's in some kind of international thing. She's in Paris right now installing solar panels. She was in Wisconsin doing all kinds of stuff. She's going through her journeyman program.
This is for IBM?
IBW.
Yeah. So they do
and she's a woman. She's a girl.
So they do a program for where they go out and help third world countries do things like solar panels and windmills and stuff.
Yeah. So she's learning the windmill. She's learning the solar. There's a lot of renewable energy, not just, electric, renewable energy.
Yeah. And then they'll install computers in classrooms in Africa. And I mean, they do good things. I mean, they're a big evil corporation sometimes, but they do some good things for like developing countries.
Yeah, I thought that was phenomenal. She's standing under the tower in Paris. She lives in Texas. She's 18, 19 years old, and she's doing that. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. So I say, women, I'm talking to you. We have people like Skylar who proves that it just doesn't take a man to be in the trades, so to speak, right? And sometimes we even push that bar a little farther. So I would say, too, that women, if you are looking for a career opportunity, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, I'm brown, and as I'm saying this, and it'll make sense why I'm saying this later, but women are considered a double minority. A double minority because you're a woman, and they use you for being a woman for any state and federal funding jobs. They have to have so many minorities, right? So I'm saying minority because I'm half Mexican, half Native American. I'm a minority. So when I'm calling you a minority as a woman, I'm not being disrespectful. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because it could be an opportunity to get your foot in the door. Doesn't mean you're going to stay there. Doesn't mean you're going to keep that career. But a lot of times getting your foot in the door with zero experience is really, really hard. The unions and all these people, it's not about your qualifications. It's about somebody you know. That 18-year-old kid who got in the doors because his father worked there, his grandfather worked there, and they know somebody who knows somebody, and it just keeps that going. You have 3-4 generations who's been in the union, and it's hard sometimes to break in the union knowing nobody. So if you want to make a high 6-figure salary and you don't mind getting your hands dirty, I tell you what, that's a hell of a way to make a ton of money. And I'm speaking with first-hand experience of that, But I'm very proud of her. Alex said, so many people do tumblers, no at the markets. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That'd be cool. If you had, when we go to these markets, like sometimes I almost feel bad. These people, when they make the tumblers, they don't make 12. Like they have like 200. And you see 1 or 2 people buying tumblers, but you're like, how much money do you have sitting there? And they got boxes and totes underneath the table too. And they got some stuff out in their car too. So like, that's a lot. So I'll still, Steve saying when he says the lost leader, right? The Sam's hot dog.
Yeah.
Right. If you had that laser just going, man, doing something.
The real problem with laser engraved tumblers now is discount, like home UV printers are clobbering that market now, right?
Yeah.
Because hey, I can put anything on if I have a UV printer, I can put anything you're putting on there, but I can put color on there, right? And it's really changing that market.
Yeah.
All of those markets, like coaster, same thing.
Yeah. So to me,
like it's just like the low end items, like the keychains and coasters and things, they're just getting eaten alive by color, right? By UVs.
Yeah. So to me, the thing with coasters, Roger had a different perspective. Roger sold the bars. So there's going to be a constant replacement of these coasters for theft and just damage.
Constant. Yeah, and this is
Right.
This is so business model is way more important than what you actually make, right?
Right. So my approach with the coasters is I do a lot of like real estate agents or companies, and they're just literally giving them as giveaways. So customer appreciation. So are they putting their own logo on them? No. No, they're doing a monogram with somebody. Say, hey, thank you for allowing us to move your house to this new house. Or thank you for whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've always mentioned in, I mean, any business videos I do, if you're looking for a market, get tied up with real estate agents.
Yep.
Cutting boards, coasters, wine glasses, because they always like to have or champagne glasses, a bottle of champagne, you know, on the kitchen counter in ice.
And I do moving companies too. Moving companies are great. You know, they get somebody who's moving from Chicago to California. It's a $7,000 move for them because they're packing, moving, and unpacking. For them to drop whatever, and guess what? They're not nickel and diming you. They're just saying, "I need this tomorrow." That's it. Yep. They're last minute. Hey, I need this tomorrow. Okay, no problem. And it takes you how long to make a coaster? It's super quick.
Yeah. I mean, I've stated many times I hate making coasters, but I will make them as throw-ins on, like, if I get a big deal or something, right? Yep. It just, you know, yeah, thanks for, you know, hundreds of dollars. Here's a few coasters to make you feel good, right?
Yeah. But I also don't think it's worth like making these one-offs all the time. But if you had like constant business with someone, you know, like that's like money you didn't expect that just comes in like, oh, that's great. It's an extra $100.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have electricians, because they're like all these warning signs and stuff that they need to put on stuff. I make tons of those.
Yeah.
And I don't have to go to a craft market to sell them, right? It's like
Santa's Living Engraving says, yeah, exactly. You found that, and they're going to keep residual income, keep coming back.
Yeah, every year they come back and say, we need a pile of these.
Yeah, exactly. So just the same product, different approach, and you know, and definitely could be why you would accept a lower profit margin, because you know that's a high quantity purchase and it's a continued customer coming back. Santa's Living Engraving said, I only do tumblers if asked. My rotary is for glass. And you're a poet and you didn't know it. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to avoid glass too, and I know Jim is on. He can I'm sure agree. Glass is hard to work with, right? It's just it's temperamental, and I know actually I was talking to Tim Sands. He's on too. He was trying to do some engraving on glass for glass trophies, and it's just constant problems with that stuff, right? It's just so, because for glass, I mean, you can use a CO2 laser, but UV laser is generally the way to go. And the problem is the focus is so tight on a UV laser. If you're out just a smidgen, you know, all of a sudden you're not on the surface of the glass. You're reflecting off the back surface or off the base of whatever, like your workspace, and back up into the glass. It just makes a mess, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Chris said, only my best customers get me to take out the rotary and set up. Yeah. And I get it, because like I said, you're pulling it out, you're adjusting it. It's not a dedicated thing. So it's a process.
Now, having said this, I mentioned, I'll say again, I'm X-Tool biased. I pulled out the RA3 the other day and put it on my F2, my UV laser, and I engraved something in seconds. Like, it was just completely straightforward, drama-free. It went exactly where I saw it on screen. But that still doesn't make me want to make a box full of tumblers.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so Razor Ray said, I only do tumblers by the case. So he doesn't want to do one-offs. He's going to have
a minimum. One-offs. There's no money in that. It's
a minimum.
I mean, there is, but you have to find the people who are willing to pay
$45.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, minimum.
And here's the thing that people don't understand too, is like, people are all crazy about these Stanley tumblers, right? They don't want the Walmart special or JDS special. They want a Stanley. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so if
Yeah.
you want a Stanley tumbler engraved, what do you want to pay, $100? Because that's $50-$60 just for the tumbler. So what's my time worth? You know, okay, you don't want to spend that? Okay, then guess what you are going to get? You are going to get that Alibaba, Amazon, JDS tumbler, not a Stanley tumbler. You know what I mean? There may be the
Not that
same.
there's a huge difference between the two, but
Right, exactly. The cup may be identical, but guess what? They didn't previously engrave Stanley on it. If it makes you feel better, maybe I can do it. You know, but those cups are so expensive. You go into Ace, they literally have.
Now in Razor Ray's case, if you're doing tumblers by the case, then you're probably doing them for a business, right? Rather than
right, and they're probably not Stanleys. They're probably some just
sure,
yeah.
But you know, I think, I mean, if you're doing if a business came to me and said, "Hey, I want 3 cases of tumblers," okay, I'll do that.
Yep.
Because I know they're not going to nickel and dime me on the price.
Right.
They're probably not going to say, "Oh, I have to have a Stanley." They might, but then they're prepared to pay for them.
Right.
So, yeah. But it's a business at the end of the day, and they just want stuff. They're not going to nitpick, right? So,
yeah.
B2B is my home, man.
Santa's Living Graydon said a combo like laser CNC means one side of the machine is going to lack something, etc. If it's a laser company, the CNC will work on the rails. That's why I always said, like, this is a Onefinity CNC behind me, right? But I said whether it's a Onefinity, an alt mill, no matter what brand CNC it is, it was very common that you saw the PWN CNC, whether it be air cooled or water cooled, that spindle.
Yeah.
So
the one exception I would make to Santa's comment here is the Carvera. They figured out how to do this the right way, I think. Now, you don't get a 48-inch square; you get something, this big. But switching from a tool to the laser is seconds, and the laser works like a laser should. And when you flip it back to a CNC and put a tool bit in there, that works properly too. So that's the one exception I would say. But again, Carvera is a little small. It's not like you're not going to engrave a door with it.
Right. So I agree to what he's saying, that when you're manufacturing something, that you worked all the kinks of one thing. So if you're a CNC company, and you decide to get in the laser, so the point of my comment was that if you made it compliant or compatible with something else that was, or they did a joint venture, I think that would be cool. Like, well,
I mean, Onefinity has done a joint venture with, what's the name of the company that sells their lasers? But I don't think they did it properly, right? I mean, the hardware is fine. The software is kind of dodgy. And this maybe is an argument for the way somebody like Carvera did this, right? Like they built all of their own software. So there's no trying to patch something in, right? They planned their software to do CNC work and laser work. And in fact, the laser is just a tool path. Like you can say, I want to cut this thing out, or I want to engrave it first and then cut it out with a bit. And it handles all of that really seamlessly. Like the laser looks just like another tool bit in Carvera's land. So I mean, they did it right, but that's one example. That's the rest of them I've seen look kind of dodgy.
Yeah. Let's see here. They said, I thought they were a non-political zone. We didn't go over the deep end. We did touch it a little bit, I touched a little bit, but
it was all Rick's fault.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I just think that we're all feeling it, right? And this whether you want to call it a recession, whatever you want to call it, we're all feeling it, you know, and that's it. And the reason we're here, the reason we're watching this, I'd say is two reasons, right? Either looking to generate a second source of income, whatever that reason may be, but that's one. And the other reason would be to save income because you're trying to do something for yourself or learn how to do a DIY type thing, right? Those are the two primary reasons you'd watch Steve or I would say. You want to make something, do something yourself, and you want to save the money to be able to do it yourself, or you want to make something, do something yourself to sell it and make money for yourself, right? So with the things that are going on in our economy right now, it's affecting your pockets and would push you in the direction of those two.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make things for yourself, start with a 3D printer.
Yeah, so I keep saying that 3D printer was kind of nerve-wracking at first. And sometimes you have influential friends, they influence you to do things, Steve. But anyways, if you were to do that, right? If you were to blindly just take somebody's leap of faith and say, hey, you should do this, right? Which in most cases is not a good idea. I think 3D printer is the way to start. And the reason that I'm saying that is because, and I'm not Bamboo Lab affiliate or anything like that. But if you were to buy a Bamboo Lab printer, just saying, the maker's space that you can go in the maker's world and just download anything that your mind could dream of and hit download, print. And that day, the first day you turned it on, you're able to make money.
Well, you're able to make something and it's something practical.
Yes. Okay. And then here's the other thing. You can't quit your day job, right? So you're still working. So while you're at work, you're on your phone like this, and guess what you're doing? You're running your 3D printer, which is insane. But here's the sad truth about 3D printers. As well as they work, no matter how expensive they are, they're still slow. So by having one, tomorrow are you going to be able to make a six-figure income? No. But watch anyone on YouTube who started that and became their primary source. Why do they have a print farm all of a sudden? They wouldn't just buy $2,000 printers or 30 of them if they weren't making any money. So it is a possible thing. So what I'm saying is that if you buy a CNC, if you buy a laser, if any of those type of things, that yes, you can make money with them. Yes, you can learn how to use them, but there's a harder learning curve. You got to learn software. You got to learn all these things. And in a 3D printer is download, print. Now, even edit your own files and do things like that.
Even if you're designing things yourself, though, right? Like, I needed an adapter to go from this size pipe to this size pipe. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, I could get in my car and I could go to a hardware store, or I could just whip the thing up in Fusion 360 in 5 minutes and print it. And so I did that, right? And it cost me, because I'm using recycled filament for that, it cost me next to nothing. And, and I don't care if it takes an hour or 2 hours because I've got lots to do, right?
So, yes. And again, kind of like how we talk about the robot lawnmowers. How long did it take you to cut your lawn? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? You're doing something else. So same thing with the 3D printer. Oh, you printed this out. It's only this big and it took 4 hours. Who cares? Were you standing in front of it 4 hours waiting for it to finish? No, go do something else. So, I mean, you might at first. You probably are at first. You're just going.
It is fascinating to watch things take, but
eventually you won't.
But but I would say if somebody wants to genuinely have a tool that they can use to make their lives better, buy a 3D printer first.
100%.
Because
I didn't think I would ever say that.
What are you going to do with a laser, say, right? Well, you can cut things and you can engrave things. How much engraving do you need, right? I got nothing in my reach right now that I've engraved. I have lots of things that are 3D printed in my grasp. Because like you can use a 3D printer to make things that are for your own lifestyle.
So, and I would say too is that you can make gimmicky things like I shared the sign that everyone was laughing at me. You can make those kind of things, and that's cool. But what a 3D printer is, where you make money, is when you problem solve. Like Steve said,
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go. So I have a DeWalt table saw, and I want to connect it to my Harbor Freight dust collector, and it's going from this size to this size. When I can say online Facebook Marketplace, this adapter will connect a desktop DeWalt table saw and a Harbor Freight, and they know like that's going to fit, and you show it. Like those are the things that are just going to sell and sell and sell and sell, because everyone has a DeWalt table saw.
Yeah.
And these are really affordable, really well, Harbor Freight dust collection systems. Like when you fix problems.
I had to make like, you can use a 3D printer to make things for yourself, but once you do, people will want you to make things for them too, right? That's how the whole print farm thing gets started. And I had somebody come to me with a broken knob off of a mixer or something, and they wanted because they were going to throw the mixer out, and or I think it was a mixer, and they said, I don't want to throw it out. And I looked at this thing and went, I'll whip one of these up for you, and it won't take long. And they're looking at a new $300-400 mixer versus they're going to pay money for the knob, right?
Yep.
And it's going to look expensive, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than a new mixer, right? Just for that plastic knob that broke. So I've done some of that kind of thing too.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. You can
lots of pipe adapters get made.
Yes,
for people.
Yes, and again, so you saw behind me, these are all DeWalt. I'm a DeWalt guy. There's no denying that. But again, so now I get a message and says, "Hey, Rick, can you do that for Milwaukee?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't have a Milwaukee tool. So if you give me your cheapest Milwaukee tool, I can do test fits and make sure it fits before we go print out a bunch of things." Yeah, I got something Milwaukee I don't use all the time. All right, give me that. Printed them out, test fit. Yeah, they work. And guess what? Now I'm printing Milwaukee stuff. You know what I mean?
You didn't say no. Sorry, it only works for yellow tools and
no. So in the trades,
and here's my affiliate code.
No, in the trades, if you walked on any job site, you're going to see two tools: DeWalt and Milwaukee. Anything outside of DeWalt and Milwaukee, and you're using that tool, it's highly likely that somebody will walk up to you and say they want to see your card. And as a union, you can't ask someone for your card unless you're holding your own card in your hand, because the union says you get paid money, look like it. That's the way you dress. That's the way your tools you use. Like everything about you, the vehicle you drive up, you have to have present a certain level of your income. You got to look.
If you're a plumber, your pants have to be hanging down so you can see the crack.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this T-shirt, right? If this was a Hanes T-shirt from Walmart, it'd probably be $11. And because it's a stupid Carhartt shirt, it's like $42. You know what I mean? But it's a 40. My pants Carhartt, like $260. You know what I mean? Because they're fire resistant, whatever clothes. But that's just the way you look. And other people that are in the trades, when they see that, they know that you're wearing $450 boots. You know what I mean? Like you're not using, Walmart specials, $39 boots. You're wearing $1,500 in clothes when you walked in there. So just look your part. But anyway, so that's what I said. So to me in the trades, if I had DeWalt, Milwaukee, and I can make it, that's any plumber, electrician, roofer, that covers it. Anything outside of that, that's honestly probably a home need. And there's nothing wrong with having a Ryobi tool if you're starting out at home, you're not going to use it. You're not in the trades. You're not using that hammer drill every single day. So if you used it twice a year, I get it. That's all.
The only plumber I know uses Hilti tools, which is like upscale Milwaukee, right?
So I know people that like Hilti only because it has a lifetime warranty. They're big and bulky, and they're kind of heavy.
Plumbers treat tools like crap, right?
So yeah.
Having a lifetime warranty is probably good for a plumber.
yeah, exactly. No, they have a lifetime warranty, and nobody has that but them. So I know some people are die hard them because of that. Yeah. So they're not cheap tools,
You
but
missed
they
a
are making
question.
it.
You missed a question there.
Oh, I have a question. What laser machine you have?
Huh. Okay.
Let's start with types, and let's leave it at that, so we don't go down 45-minute explanation.
I have fiber from 20, well, not 20 watts, 60 watts up to 1200 watts. I have UV lasers. I have CO2 lasers. There's nothing left, I guess. I have them all.
So I have fiber and MOPA from 20 to 60. I have diode, and I have CO2s.
Yeah, I was including my MOPA in the fiber.
Both mine are not MOPA. That's why I said that. Not all mine are MOPA. That's why I said it.
Yeah, I don't know if like a metal fab is a MOPA laser. I should try and cut color with it or engrave color with it.
So if you're asking this because you're wondering what type of laser you should buy, what we always suggest is that you look at what you would like to make. And the reason is because there's not a diode laser is not better than a fiber laser. A fiber laser is not better than a CO2 laser, but a CO2 laser is better at making certain things better than a diode. A fiber laser,
yeah, it's a case
they all have their purpose.
It's a case of ability, right? Like a
Yes.
like a diode laser isn't going to cut acrylic. A fiber laser won't cut acrylic either. A CO2 laser cuts it like butter.
Right. Just like people say, hey, I just bought this diode laser and I can't get it to cut the metal. What settings should I use? It won't. It won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the settings question is one
yeah,
I get at least 3 times a week. What settings do you use?
Right. What
Well,
settings
on
are
a 1200 watt fiber laser, I use 10% power.
Right.
On your 20 watt fiber laser, you don't have enough power.
Right. So my suggestion, if you are looking to purchase a laser, great. We were just saying you should purchase, 3 printers you want to start. But the good thing about lasers in general is they can be fairly inexpensive to get started. So start within your budget. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Just get started, start making money, start learning the software, make money, reinvest, get bigger, better, right? Because if I started with a 5-watt diode laser, and some would say that a 5-watt diode laser does better detailed work than a 60-watt, because the stronger the laser, the bigger the head, right? It's like blasting with a big giant thing. So can I do all kinds of crazy cutting? No. Can I do some engraving? Yes. So wherever your budget fits you, buy within your means, but buy Pacific. So
figure out what you want to make.
Yes.
And then it's an easier answer to say what kind of laser you should get.
Exactly. That's my best advice. Right. And so I'm not pitching you one way or the other on what type. I'm just saying go down the rabbit hole of the type that'd be best for what you decided to make.
Yeah.
It's not going to be your last laser.
Like if all you ever wanted to do is maybe make acrylic signs, you could make them with this laser behind me. But you're also paying for a fiber laser to cut metal. So if you never want to cut metal, don't buy that laser. Right? You're just wasting money.
Right. And you will find that as you start one, it's an addiction. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. And eventually, if you start with a CO2 laser, you'll have a fiber laser or you'll have a diode laser, because they all serve their purpose and they're all good at one thing. And the other thing is that some of these projects take a long time. And if you only have one, it's like having none, because once it's being used, that's all you got. So,
you drink a lot of coffee when you only have one laser.
Right. So as we're saying that more than one laser is capable, but one is more efficient. If you had more than one, you could be using the capable one and the more efficient one as your backup. Does that make sense? But definitely decide what you want to make first, and then figure out your price budget on that. But don't start looking at all the lasers as a whole in price, because that's going to throw you way off. It's going to really dilute your decision of what you're buying, and you're going to make an uneducated purchase.
Yeah, your budget is important too, right? Like, if you have a $10,000 budget, then you're buying a different level of laser than if you have a $500 budget.
Yes.
But when you're first starting out, few people have a $10,000 budget.
So good luck. Chris said, I love it when some people buys a house next to a motorcycle complex that's been there for 30 years, then tries to get it closed down because of noise.
Yeah, that's the way it always works.
Yeah. So my house.
And when I lived in Ottawa, bigger city than, I don't live in the city now, but they built a subdivision, and through the middle of it, which was there for 15 years, was a twin 250,000 volt power lines on like 100-foot towers, right?
Transmission.
And then somebody on a rainy day stood out in their backyard with a fluorescent tube and held it under this thing, and it kind of glowed, right? And they said, "Oh, this is terrible." It was there when you moved in, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's got power, and the power is leaking everywhere because it's like massive amounts of voltage, right? So it's still there. The people are still there.
So my property is surrounded by 3 different subdivisions. I'm unincorporated. I can do whatever I want. I can have dirt bikes, 4-wheelers, bonfires, you name it. And my neighbors would call the cops on me all the time. And the cops would come because they have to. And they'd say, sorry, Ramirez. They no longer come to my house anymore, even if they get called, because they know, like, I'm not doing anything wrong. But, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, we have a good time in my house.
Yeah, airports are always a popular target, too.
Gary said, I'm a retired union guy that trades at where it's at. Hey, how's it going, brother? Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely worth working with your hands for a living.
I would say this. Whether you like AI or not, it's becoming something of our future. It's going to be integrated in everything. It's going to be in everything. We're going to have AI in our refrigerators. It's just going to happen, right? But the bad thing about AI is it's going to eliminate some jobs. So as you're looking for a job, as you're telling your son, your grandson, your nephew, your cousin, you're influencing them in a career in the future, you kind of want to think to push them in a direction to something that's not going to be eliminated. Graphic designers, man, I'm worried.
They're doomed already.
I'm worried. You know what I mean? Like, data analysts, I'm worried. Accountants, I'm worried. Help desk tech support, customer service, those are like legit good paying jobs. Like, those are jobs that, AI is.
To some degree, the bigger the salary, the more incentive someone has to put AI to replace it, right? Like software engineering is going crazy, right? This is an industry that designed AI to effectively kill itself, right? Which is kind of ridiculous. But I know people who work in companies where at least half of their code is now written by AI.
Yeah. We were joking the other day. I went to Sam's. I'm walking out of Sam's and I have my receipt in my hand. And I'm working when I'm used to, because when I get to the end of the line, they just randomly pick random people. The lady at the line was white. I'm Mexican. She was extremely apologetic, thinking that I'm going to complain or be upset because she stopped me. And I was like, oh, I just thought it was a random thing. It's not a race thing. Why are you making something out of nothing? And she says, oh, no, I'm just telling you that you were, picked out. And I'm like, okay. now you got my attention. What do you mean when I was picked out? They have cameras now when you're walking out of Sam's at the entrance. And if you hold your receipt upwards, it's scanning your receipt. And at some point in time, it's going to pick something off your receipt that's going to be able to pull your receipt. And then it scans your cart. And it does the random check like they would do. And as long as you're able to be verified some random things, you don't get picked. But because I was holding my receipt in my hand like this, not like this, they couldn't see my receipt. So she had to stop me to do a manual check. And that's AI. And I told her, "Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for explaining. I mean, for now on, I'll walk out like this." Like, I wasn't upset because I'm brown that you're white. You stopped me. It wasn't what? No, what?
Now, if you saw some white guy walking out with his receipt all crunched up in his hand and he didn't get stopped, well, there you go.
Wait a minute here. Is AI looking at my skin? But no, but just seriously though, I use AI every single day, maybe more than I should, but it's really going to be getting deeply involved in our lives.
Yeah, you have to use it the right way. Like use it as a co-pilot instead of a pilot, right?
Yeah.
It's you have to be careful, and you have to understand that it can lie to you.
Yeah. And also you understand that it could be manipulated. So that's something to be aware. We're at time, guys, but a couple comments here I just want to catch up in. TCC 1940 said, yesterday I tried laser engraving glass mugs. 6 the same design, only 1 came out acceptable. Exactly what Steve was saying. Like glass,
it's tedious.
Yeah, Chris said, "Hi, my name is Stanley, and I put my name on tumbler cups." Yeah. So let's see here. Chris said, "Rick, you also have tools to go with your DeWalt batteries." Absolutely. Yeah. So this is just the batteries here. But yeah. Travis said, "Have you used any SLS printers after the frustration of testing Chinese controllers? I started developing my own controller software for my DIY machine." I'm not sure what an SLS printer is. You know what that is, Steve?
Yeah, it's a 3D printer, but yeah, I think developing your own controller and software is a bit hardcore, but I know what you mean. There's some really bad controllers out there that I'll say happen to come from companies in China.
I'd say it's great you have the ability, but I'd say, what's your time worth? Just throw it away and buy one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? It's like, I mean, I've done this kind of thing too. And it's like, yeah, I know it's just going to cost me money, but it's fun, or it's a learning exercise. It's something, right? I get something out of it. But yeah, it's a bit extreme to have to design your own controller and software to put on it.
Chris said, Hilti is the Lambo of tools. And I said, it does have the lifetime warranty, but they're big and bulky.
Yeah, they are pretty hefty.
It's like 1985. Here we are again. That's all I'm saying. Reminds me of like the old Craftsmans.
Yeah, if you actually look at the sheets of who owns what product names, there's only like 3 or 4 really big tool companies.
Yeah. Roy said, I walked around my shop and counted everything I 3D printed and stopped counting at 40. I see your point on the 3D print.
That's the thing, right? I need a hook. Okay, I'll 3D print something. I need a whatever, a cork for a bottle. Oh, I can 3D print that. Get me the TPU, right?
Yes.
So the time to value for a 3D printer is much shorter than it is for
solving problems.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, they're generally cheaper than most lasers, unless you buy a bamboo or something, but I wouldn't say start with that.
Chris said the scariest thing about AI is how much we're going to be engaged around use it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gouged to use it, the cost. The bigger problem is the cost of power, right? Like these things are power hungry.
And water.
Yeah, water. Well, yeah.
Water is, they're saying using like 1 billion gallons of water a year to cool these data centers.
Yeah, they could solve that problem with closed loop systems though, but electricity, man, has got to pour into these things, right? Also, that you can make your dog in a dress dance around your kitchen, right?
Travis said, I was a graphic designer, web developer for 20 years plus. I got out early for YouTube. Now I use AI to help build web apps in hours. It would have taken me months. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
So one thing it's funny you said that. I said, hey, I get contact from these companies all the time. Say, hey, Rick, do you want help on your website? Do you want this and that? And I said, you know what I want? I want something that somebody can upload and say, hey, I want this 3D printed, and they can upload and create their own design. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not interested. Oh, hey, I want stickers. Okay, I want you to be able to create a generic Photoshop, Adobe type thing that somebody can create their own stickers, generate their own stickers, and export a printable file for my printer. I can't do that. Well, then I'm not interested because I know that I can do it AI. So,
yeah,
to me, if I'm paying you, you got to do something I can't do. Chris said, I would crunch up the receipt just to keep someone's job. I kind of agree. My wife is so mad at me at Walmart that I will not go to self-checkout.
Yeah, I never go to self-checkouts.
I won't. I will not. And I know that person who's at the register is crabby and they're mean to me sometimes because they're just pissed because there's only 2 lanes open and they're just people are being angry and mad to them. So I go out of my way to make sure that I tell them, like, yeah, I stood in this line. It was pretty long, but I'm not taking somebody's job away by going to self-checkout. I want to talk to you, and kind of cheer them up a little bit. But I don't care. I'll wait. I will not go on the self-checkout.
Yep, I'm the same way.
All right, we're at time, guys. It's 8:36. We're actually a little over the live, but I wanted to catch up in our comments because there were some people commenting. I did skip over a few, so sorry if I mix it, but I think I got the bulk of our comments. Thank you, guys, and everyone. I say guys, but just a habit. Thank you, everyone, for joining our live. Steve, you want to close us out?
Have a good evening. I have nothing profound to say. Sorry.
All right, no problem. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Take care all.